You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
The night was sultry. What did you say?
So how was everybody's Halloween?
Good. Watch Throw Mama from the Train.
I worked. So yeah, by the time this comes out, it will have been past Halloween.
We're still in Thanksgiving though.
Hell yeah, we are.
Hell
yeah.
So there's still that. We got that going for us, which is nice.
Which is nice.
So yeah, because I am enjoying the, as long as I can do it at work, the watching the movie to playing the game, watching movies that I otherwise absolutely never would have watched.
But now your palette is broader
Stalloneized.
because of it. Because you've seen Demolition Man and Cliffhanger, and you only have one more to go.
Yep.
I can't wait to talk to you guys about the movie Cliffhanger.
I can't either.
Way more excited to talk about the movie Cliffhanger than I am the video game Cliffhanger.
Girl, same. And I watched it fresh this morning. First thing this morning.
Yeah. A breakfast
and
Cliffhanger.
It had some breakfast Cliffhanger, and it was awesome. I spoiler alert, I really like this movie, but for various reasons, it's fun to watch. So yes, I'm excited to talk about it too.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it.
Well, it's an inversion of nature, like a banana eating a monkey.
Yes.
Man, that's the first Cliffhanger reference on the podcast, man. A point on the board for Tyler. That was good, man.
He really did watch the movie.
Hell yeah.
Watch it. So as long as I can watch it while I do paperwork at the office, yeah, well, I'll watch the movie. That's fine. I don't want to come home and sit there and watch it, but I'll do it at work. But before we get to that,
What are you doing in there? Not watching Cliffhanger?
Nope. Pause. I'm in a meeting.
Watching Judge Dredd. Shit, no, I'm in a meeting.
I'm on
Why
a
is
Zoom
that-
call with Sylvester Stallone.
Why is someone just scream cursing constantly? Oh yeah, that's Travers. Don't worry about it.
God. All right, let's hurry. Hurry.
yeah.
I want to talk about
Oh,
Travers.
fuck it. Let's talk about Cliffhanger.
Let's
Fuck
talk
it.
about Cliffhanger. Yeah,
We can do
that's fine.
intros after we talk about Cliffhanger.
I liked it more than Demolition Man.
Whoa.
I did, because Demolition Man, it had its moments of comedy that I enjoyed.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, I didn't care for it as much. Sandra Bullock was funny. I didn't care for Stallone in it at all.
Cliffhanger needed Sandra Bullock, I feel like.
Yeah.
I also like Cliffhanger. That's the first time I'd seen it. And I also
Oh, you
liked
hadn't
it.
seen it before?
No, I haven't seen
Oh my
Judge
goodness.
Dredd either.
I didn't
so.
know this.
Yeah, I had never seen Cliffhanger. It just didn't seem like one of those movies that I would like because I thought it was about rock climbing.
Well,
And it's
in a way,
It's not really.
it is.
It's Die Hard on a
Features-
mountain.
Features, yes, it is. Die Hard on a Mountain.
And I didn't know that. I didn't realize that John Lithgow was in it.
I know,
And
right?
Neither.
Michael Rooker.
Yes,
Rooker, sorry.
It's okay.
And-
What else was he in? He looks so
Guardians of the
Yondu.
Galaxy. He's Yondu.
Oh, he's Yondu.
And I
also-
didn't recognize him at first either because he has fucking hair in this movie.
He's
And I was-
also in early episodes of The Walking Dead.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yeah.
he's
Merle.
Earl.
Yeah.
Merle.
Okay.
But yeah,
And young, so young with hair.
I know. At first, I was like, that guy looks familiar. He's not David Letterman.
Only by that much.
I have always loved this movie. This one to me is right there with Demolition Man as an essential Stallone film. I mean, you've got Rocky and all the Rocky movies, but those are in a different category, obviously. They're not action movies, they're dramas, whatever. And they're great, but I love Stallone action movies, and this one and Tyler, I can kind of see where you're coming from, because in a lot of ways, I think this one hits more of my kind of dopamine buttons than Demolition Man does.
This is a straight up action movie.
It really is.
Demolition Man is less of an action movie.
Demolition Man, and I think Tyler touched on this last week, Demolition Man has, albeit whether it be fake or whether it be real or whether it has a little bit of an agenda.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's the world the liberals want. It's what they're trying to take away from everybody.
And whether they're parroting that or whether they're actually making the statement, there is an agenda there, and that's okay. But it doesn't take away from my love of that movie.
Don't vote for Reagan. This is what happens.
Yeah. But Cliffhanger is just non-apologetic in its constant and very satisfying action.
Cliffhanger's a dumb movie.
It's a dumb movie.
It is a dumb movie.
And it's got really, really stupidly bad acting in it.
It has, most of it is from Sylvester Stallone. No? Disagree?
No.
I don't know, man. There's a scene. Anytime he's like interacting with Jackie, I think is the name of the woman.
It's
just like, I can't believe that these people are in a relationship.
They're
and then
not.
She's not great either.
No.
Because like the scene where they enter the cave where there's a whole bunch of bats. I laughed my ass off the way she pops up off the bottom of the screen like cross-eyed and shit. And it's like, what the fuck? Okay.
That was one of my favorite parts. And I think it injects a little humor in there, but also like this. There was one scene where he and Jackie they're making. Okay, so let's lay down a little bit of plot. I'm going to lay down a little bit of plot. First of all, the opening scene to Cliffhanger is one of my favorites ever, because they get right to the fucking good shit. And the opening scene, they're Sylvester Stallone and his team. They're going up to rescue his best friend and his best friend's girlfriend,
Hal and
Sarah. Sarah
is
is her name. Yes, I believe you're right. Where he
can't remember because she's not in it for long.
Right. He tweaks his knee, so they call for rescue, and they come up, and they have to get them across this between two peaks.
They're all part of a rescue team.
They're all part of a rescue team.
It's like Paw Patrol, but they're humans.
Yes, exactly. And
God damn, it is so Paw Patrol.
It is.
They're all like, very schlocky, poking fun at each other, rock climbing.
It's
jokes.
super.
Yeah, man.
It fits into that same like genre of like movies, like where there's a specific niche of thing that they're trying to focus on. Like I like to think of Drop Zone, starring Wesley Snipes.
I haven't seen it.
It's all about parachuting junkies, skydivers. And they get all into the culture, and then fucking Point Break, where you've got all these fucking self-righteous surfers, and it's that kind of thing, only maybe not to the extreme that some of those are, but yeah, they're a rescue team. They've come to rescue these two. They've stretched this nice cable across this gorge between two mountain peaks to try to get them rescued, and Hal, who's played by Michael Rooker, a.k.a. Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. Although I do like his show Gardens of the Galaxy on HGTV.
Good, him and Martha Stewart.
Yondu gets across. And
he's
then
Youngdu in this one.
He's very young. Youngdu. Yondu gets across, and then Sarah follows. And as she goes, she's very nervous. She's a new
Before
climber.
Sarah goes, I want to ask you guys a really important question. Have you ever kissed one of your friends on the lips?
Nope. But they have a
That's not your wife.
Yes.
They have a very open relationship.
Ramon was drunk and kissed me on the lips in college.
Was he about to go over a cable to a helicopter? I thought it was so weird that
well, she says, "Are we still on for dinner later?" But he's with the woman
who's in the helicopter,
flying
Jackie,
the helicopter,
right.
Jackie,
and she's with the man.
And so I'm just wondering if they have just one of those, they are had a couple's dinner, and it's just a smooch for good luck.
They live the lifestyle.
You don't know about the cliffhanger polycule? Like,
it's a thing.
No wonder everyone was so upset.
Anyway, they start to cross.
the girl we're all fucking, no.
Not our unicorn.
Our bicycle. Things happen. Things go wrong, and so as a result of this, and Sylvester Stallone's character Gabe blames himself.
Gabe Walker
for the bad things that happen.
Oklahoma
And he checks out. He leaves for 8 months and then comes back, and in that time, of course, everybody's mad at him for leaving. And then, meanwhile, at the U.S. Treasury Department, Agent something Travers.
Agent, not the bum fights guy dressed as Dr. Phil on the Dr. Phil show. Because the first time I saw him, I was like, holy shit, he looks like the bum fights guy on Dr. Phil.
The guy that they always get to be the tough guy asshole he has one lane and he stays in it, and his heyday was in movies like this back in the 90s.
I didn't remember him.
I did.
But he definitely looks like Dr. Phil cosplay.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Mustache, the haircut, the fucking.
balding,
he's playing an FBI agent. He's got like the blazer on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's straight up like I laugh when we start shooting dudes.
Bad. So meanwhile, he's been with the Treasury Department for 20 years. And unbeknownst to them, he has devised a plan to hijack a plane that is transporting 3 large cases containing discontinued $1,000 bills.
Well, the whole time I didn't know, is he a double agent? Is he selling someone out? Is he a triple agent? Is he honest? Like, what is this dude doing?
He's a Treasury agent who teams up with a bad guy named Eric Quaylen, played by John Lithgow.
Oh, yeah.
Who was originally supposed to be David Bowie.
Is that why? Okay.
That's why he speaks the way he does, I think.
Anyway.
God, I do love John Lithgow and everything. Dude plays very, very good lawful evil.
They attempt to steal this money through a cable, sliding cable, like AKA Air Force One, between 2 airplanes.
Batman Skyhook style.
Things go terribly wrong. Both they blow up the Treasury plane, and then the other plane, the bad guy plane, crashes. And before that, the cases are dropped into the mountains where Sylvester Stallone and his team work in Colorado. And they crash the plane and then need to find their money, so they put out a fake call, sends the team, then they take Sylvester Stallone's character Gabe and Hal hostage to force them to go get their money, and that's the rest of the movie, is them trying to foil the bad guys and keep from dying. And so,
which they have a radar, like
they have
a
tracking
devices
device
on all these,
on
and which
the cases.
Somehow the tracking device is able to map out the topography of the mountains. You see the green vectors.
Yeah.
Illustrated. Why would they have to bring in the third party and not just?
Well, you see, Travers knows how useless he is to a point, and has locked the tracking device. The one thing that can track the cases is locked with encryption code with 50,000 possible combinations, and he's the only one that knows the code to unlock the thing that can track their cases. So that's all that is.
And they need Hal and Gabe as guides, supposedly.
So it's just a guide, because the issue is, like, if they have that, like,
right,
why can't they just not worry about involving a third party?
Oh, I misunderstood your question. Yeah, they need them as guides because they don't know how to read the terrain, nor do they have the ability to climb the mountain.
The first one they send Gabe up because it's off on top of a mountain.
And initially, when they made the call, they initially thought that they were going to immediately send a helicopter, because when Gabe and Hal show up on foot they immediately hold guns on him and say, "Where the fuck's the chopper?" So they wanted the rescue team to come with a helicopter. Then they were going to kill the rescue team and use the rescue chopper to go get their money. Without that, but since they
also seems like a weird, shitty plan to just leave the trail. But
yeah, agreed. So yeah, it's a terrible premise. It really is.
It's a dumb movie.
It's a dumb movie.
It's a dumb movie, but I think it's fun.
It's a fun movie
And
to
like
watch.
that's
I could not deal with John Lithgow's fucking accent. I couldn't
man.
deal
is that
with
what
it.
you
Even
saw?
yes,
I loved
even
it.
as a. I know he was just doing it to be stupid. It was a thing, and I get it, but it was awful, and it grated on my nerves. I could not laugh at it because it pissed me off so much.
yeah.
It made me so upset because I love John Lithgow.
Yeah.
And I like to think that John Lithgow. I wonder if the accent he's using is one that's purposely bad, or if he's just really that bad at doing a British accent. And if either one of those is true, it still just annoys the shit out of me. So I'd rather it not be. I wish he hadn't done that.
I liked it, but I liked it because it was so bad. It was like it was fun for me. So it's like I think we agree on his accent, but
Yeah.
it was just a different visceral reaction. Because mine was just like, I can't fucking believe he's doing
I know.
this.
I can't either. And it's because, John Lithgow being John Lithgow and having been in so many wonderful roles in his career, even Harry and the Hendersons.
Dude,
Go
home.
Go home. But
We don't want you.
he's so good. He played in Dexter. He was
Trinity.
in the best season of Dexter.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
Trinity? Yeah, he was Trinity.
Right.
So it's just one of those things that even though at the time, it was 1993, I have never been okay with that accent of his in this movie.
Yeah.
And that didn't change. I watched it this morning and was like, God, I still hate it.
They
I
wanted
still
David
hate
Bowie
it.
for that. And on one hand, I really would like to see that.
I would have loved to have seen that.
But on the other hand, it's like, I'm glad we got John Lithgow because, the vibe I got from him in that accent was just, fuck it, this is a dumb movie, and I'm going
he
to
knows
fucking
how
chew
bad
some
it is.
scenery. Yeah,
I'm going to go straight to the fucking, just straight balls out.
It's because it doesn't matter. And the scene you were talking about, where the stunts in this movie are fucking great.
Oh, they fucking. I still
amazing
found
stunts.
myself being like tense.
Yeah.
During these scenes. I love mountain climbing movies anyway, and they always try to get you. This one always gets me. They have the cinematography and the stunt work is really exciting.
That shit with the planes where you were talking about, they hook, and they do have Travers uses that hook to go from one plane to another. That's all real, and that's all that.
Someone did that
for $1 million.
$100 million.
I think it was
It's $100 million. Each case had
no. The stunt man was paid $1 million.
Okay, I thought you meant in the plot of the movie. Okay,
the stunt man was paid $1 million because that's all real. At 15,000 feet, a cable from one plane to the other.
Yeah,
and he didn't make it in. He made it from one plane to the other. He was supposed to make it through the door, but he got there like close enough for them to edit it where it looked okay.
Yeah.
It looked fine to me. But there was like, because that's like, if something fucks up on that 15,000 feet, you're fucking dead, man.
Yep.
That's a guarantee.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You either get guaranteed $1 million or guaranteed death.
That's fucking wild.
It is crazy.
But that's like 1993, $1 million. And that's like on top of, like, he was paid that for that stunt.
Just for that one.
stunt.
Not to mention
the other
shit he
which is a
did.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the inflation calculator.
Yeah.
That movie was just full of really good, over the top, fun, exciting action scenes. That really puts you on the edge of your seat. And I was thinking about the director of the movie Cliffhanger.
Yes.
His name is Remy Harlan.
Did you look at his filmography?
I did, and it makes me so happy. And I'm gonna read some honorable mentions.
Please.
This is by no means a comprehensive list of this guy's movies because there was like 30 or 40 movies, most of which I have seen.
And I've got my favorites on here.
Okay, good.
Well,
I'm going to read my list of honorable mentions, and then you can.
You're probably going to hit all of them, I bet.
I bet.
Today, that stunt would have paid him $2,139,614.31.
That's less than I would have thought.
I would have thought
the
it would have
inflation
been
would have been greater.
Way
on that.
greater, yeah. So, favorites, honorable mentions by director Remy Harlan of Cliffhanger. Number one, of course, Cliffhanger. Die Hard 2.
Right.
Which is one of I love Die Hard 2. A lot of people shit on it. I like Die Hard 2. The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Right.
With Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson. A fantastic movie that I haven't thought about in a while. So I'm going to watch that one again soon. Mindhunters. Cutthroat Island. Also with Gina Davis and Matthew Modine.
That's on the SNES list, right?
And it is on the SNES list. And my last one, just because I wanted to keep it short, because I had a feeling you were going to do this too, Dave.
I don't have many. It's cool.
Deep Blue Sea. My hat is like a shark's fin.
He directed the music
My
video,
hat is like
too.
a shark's fin.
Not just the movie. He directed the fucking LL Cool J music video. God damn it.
Deepest, bluest. My head is like a shark fin. God, what stupid lyrics.
I love it.
It's so bad. It's so funny.
I love it.
What is this? I have no clue.
Deep Blue Sea?
I've heard of Deep Blue Sea.
He directed, the guy that directed Cliffhanger directed Deep Blue Sea.
A music video for
LL Cool J is in Deep Blue Sea. And he does the theme song for the movie. And the lyrics go, deepest, bluest. My hat is like a shark's fin.
Yeah.
And he's saying hat.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's good. It's good.
I don't know. But
and the hat is like a shark's
and
fin.
his hat is like a shark's fin. So anyway, yes, Remy Harlan directed Deep Blue Sea, which I thought out of that list, I loved Die Hard 2, but I thought it was awesome that he directed Deep Blue Sea.
Yep. I thought it was awesome that he directed that music video.
That is amazing. I did not catch that in my research. So
he also did, the only other one that I had that I wanted to mention was Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
the
Dream Master.
Yeah, the Dream Master. Second only to Dream Warriors. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which is arguably the best.
I think that's a polarizing one. I like it. I like that one a whole lot, but I think there are a lot of people who don't like it because it's not as traditional a horror movie.
I think that's the reason that it gets the division that it
totally
gets.
Absolutely.
I
like it. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I want to rewatch
I have
all of them.
rewatched it recently, and it still holds. For me, it still holds up. We should do a Nightmare on Elm Street Patreon episode. Talk about all those.
I need to watch all of them. They were selling a whole bunch of bundles for Halloween. I almost bought the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Would you pluralize it as a Nightmare on Elm Streets or Nightmares on Elm Street?
Depends on how funny you want to be.
Okay.
Right?
Is it Attorney Generals or Attorneys General?
Did you have any other movies on your list of Remy Harlan
Just
classics?
Die Hard 2 and Deep Blue Sea and the LL Cool J.
In the video for LL.
Shark is like a head. My hat is like a shark's fin.
It is like a shark's fin. Deepest, bluest. My man Michael Rooker is in this movie. We talked about this, who also plays Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I did a little deep diving here to figure out, has Sylvester Stallone and Michael Rooker been in any other movies together? Their paths do not cross again after Cliffhanger until Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, right. Stallone's
because
in that.
Stallone is the leader of the Ravagers that has sort of excommunicated Yondu because of the misunderstanding of his involvement with Star-Lord and with Peter Quill. And Yondu gets redemption, and that redemption is granted by Sylvester Stallone, a.k.a. the leader of the Ravagers at the time. So I found out that was the Cliffhanger They did not work in another movie together between Cliffhanger and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And even Stallone only had a cameo in the Guardians movies.
Right.
In that one
Stallone-io.
specifically.
Nice.
A Stallone-io. Hell yeah.
Leave me, Stallone.
I thought about that, and because I remembered the two of them being in there together in Guardians. I thought, well, did they have, no, that was it. Cliffhanger, and then almost 20 years later.
That's a stretch.
Guardians 2. So I thought that was an interesting fact.
That is. Did they
Both
talk
their
about Sarah?
characters were kidnapped off Earth, and that's who they became.
So what I was going to mention earlier when we were talking about Stallone's dialogue, there's a lot of really bad dialogue in this movie, and that's to be expected. And, I don't care about that so much because it is funny. And some of his delivery was bad, especially the stuff with Jackie. It's hard for him to be convincingly in a relationship with someone on screen and have it play out unless he makes a joke or gets funny. Mm-hmm. And I love Stallone's delivery of funny stuff. And my favorite line of his in the entire movie is when he and Jackie are making their way around to try and help Hal. See, at this point, he's broken away from his original captors and is now trying to get ahead of the terrorist guys and stop them
and collect the money before they get it.
Before they get it. And Jackie has shown up now. What the hell are you doing here? Moment, and she's with him, and night falls, and he has discovered one of the cases with $60 million in it and $1,000 bills, and they have a campfire, and he's throwing money piles on the campfire to keep the fire going, and he says, "Costs a fortune to heat this place." I laughed out loud at that line because it was so funny, and his delivery when he relaxes. And just doesn't think about it and says something funny. He's really good at that shit. I think he did that a lot in Demolition Man. His just delivery is excellent, and I think that at that moment, if he could have pulled that kind of timing and that kind of delivery throughout the whole movie, it would have been a lot better. Like they've just discovered that the cave that they're in is about to be blown up by the bad guy, and he has this old rope that he had to salvage, right? And he and Jackie, it is Jackie, right?
I don't know. I just called her Jackie.
I'm gonna say Jackie. They use the old rope to jump off the side of the cliff to get away from the explosion, which is definitely going to cause an avalanche. And he goes to throw the rope over and ties it on, and she goes, "Is this old rope going to hold?" And he goes, "Don't think so." And that was it. "Don't think so." And they jump. And I'm like, that's the kind of shit I love about him. He doesn't. I just love the way he sounds when he delivers these little quick quips that have good timing. And there was some of that, and then there was some not that.
See, the rope was a miss for me.
Was it a miss?
Yeah.
See, I love that shit.
I mean, I thought what I didn't like about it was, fuck, man, that was like a good idea, but like the way he said it was just like, it was like, damn it, you couldn't have like taken like a second take on that one.
No, actually, they probably couldn't. I imagine that there were a lot of things in this movie that they had one shot to get right, and then had to not do it again. But yeah, I could see where you're coming from. But shit like that just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But
it's the same reason the John Lithgow accent makes me like it's the same thing where it's like I love it, but you hate it. It's like because it's not good,
Yeah.
But it's like it's fine though because the movie is what it is,
I don't know that I have ever laughed that hard out loud at 8:30 in the morning than when he said it costs a fortune to heat this place.
That one was
I was sitting in my
solid.
office. I work from home on Friday, and I was watching it, and I literally just sat up and laughed so hard at that. So thanks to Cliffhanger for making me start my day off with a laugh, with a chuckle.
Speaking of laughing, have you guys seen the original theatrical trailer for Cliffhanger?
No.
I should have sent it to you because I hadn't seen it either, but I read that in the original theatrical trailer of the movie, audiences were laughing because there is, at the end of it, Stallone, like, the scene's in the movie. It's when the bridge collapses.
Right, he's on a rope bridge.
Right.
And he's running back across the rope bridge because they rigged it with an explosive at the end.
It's the scene. It's after that. I think he does like some kind of jump
Oh, yeah.
to
Okay.
get
yes.
to get over that chasm.
Yeah.
Now that the bridge is destroyed. In the movie, that's like a 40-foot chasm, and they filmed him jumping over a 40-foot chasm from like below down in the chasm. There are, by the way, a lot of cool shots in this movie.
Definitely.
I mean, like, I was in the very beginning
The scene where he's trying
he's
to
climbing up and it's like
Yes.
all upside down.
Yes.
It's like, holy shit, this is an amazing shot.
It's effective. It's brilliantly effective.
Yeah.
Well, it felt
Yeah.
so different. They felt different from a lot of other movies just because, like, with the rock climbing and the terrain and the direct, like, I haven't seen a lot of movies that are like that. So that's
There
why
have
I feel like,
been-
okay, I've seen a lot of dystopian movies like Demolition Man. I haven't seen stuff like this.
There have been several. I could make you if you want to see more. Do you want to know more?
Is there a Super Nintendo game related to it?
No, but I mean, yes. There's a lot of really good, like, mountain climbing type, exciting movies like this that if you're into it, I can make you a list. But anyway,
That jump was edited in the movie, but that 40-foot jump is in the trailer, and audiences were howling with laughter because when you do see it, it is like, there's no fucking way. Like, I mean, that is ridiculous.
and out of context, it makes it even more funny.
Right.
Because
yeah,
it's a
totally.
trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a trailer, and it's a real, like, dramatic trailer too. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
and it's at the very end. So it's just like building, and then Stallone jumping 40 feet.
Oh, no.
So they decided to edit the movie because of that. Probably pretty smart.
Yeah.
It is good idea. That's why we have, they get a free focus group out of the
Right.
trailer.
It's and I'm sorry, I said Jackie. It's Jesse.
Jesse. Okay, I'll go back and edit every time I've said Jackie to say Jesse.
But make sure you leave me in saying Jackie.
I will.
Thank you.
I'm not going to do any of that stuff. What am I directing Cliffhanger here? Sorry to the actress that played Jessie for fucking that up. There is
Also in Northern Exposure.
That's right. Yes. There is a reboot in progress of Cliffhanger as we speak.
Is it really?
It is a female-led reboot of Cliffhanger that will likely feature Jason Momoa, not star him, but feature him, because we need that, a reboot of Cliffhanger,
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird decision.
right?
Is this real?
It's real. I'm not making this up. I'm being dead serious. I don't understand. The best jokes are the ones you have to explain. I don't understand why we need a reboot of Cliffhanger.
It's a weird one to do, I feel like.
I guess we're going to need to undo all the atrocities that were done in this one.
Or Jason
Too many
Momoa is like,
men.
I'm always on beaches and in the ocean. Put me in the mountains.
I think I'd like to sometime get to the point where we can all agree that sometimes having a movie once is plenty.
Uh-huh.
And that just because it happened to feature lots of muscly, toxically masculine men doesn't necessarily mean it has to be redone
But
because it was fine.
if it is redone, I want Jason Momoa to play Travers, and I want him to have that Dr. Phil haircut and mustache.
Man,
that would make it totally fucking worth it. It would, and he would do it.
I would
too.
go see it. I would go see it.
I would go see it too, just for that.
Just for the haircut.
Yeah.
he curses in Dothraki though.
And at the in the end, when he goes under the ice, he's fine because he's also Aquaman.
What a weird scene, by the way, in Cliffhanger. It's like totally. I was so confused.
That was like clearly done in a movie set.
Yeah. Well, sure. Yeah. Totally.
Which is not the case for most of the rest of the movie.
Right. But I also didn't understand like any of it because there's this scene where like Travers and Walker, they're fighting, and then
To be clear,
Yeah.
I want to make sure our audience understands. If you haven't seen Cliffhanger, there is a pecking order in which you want the bad guys to die. I immediately had my list, and Travers was like number 2 on the list.
Sure.
I could not wait for him to get killed.
Yes.
Because he was such an over-the-top dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
The scene where they're shooting, like, okay, so they fall. Stallone falls to the ice. I need explanation because I was so confused. I was like, okay, so Stallone falls through the ice and then decides to, instead of getting out of the ice, to swim under it. And I assume like okay, he knows if he pops up, he's going to get shot by Travers because Travers has a gun. And it's like, okay, so what's the plan then? Because like Stallone just starts swimming under the ice. It's like, what are you gonna? And then he like turns to like, I guess, teleport through the ice or whatever, and realizes, oh shit,
This is ice, and I can't get out. But then, right after that moment, he gets real calm and just sort of drifts with the water and sees Travers walking over him and knows. See, I think at this point he's like, I'll bait Travers into trying to shoot at me. And I thought he was going to let Travers shoot the ice so he can get
pop
out.
Right.
Instead, he gets him lined up and then shoots Travers through the ice with his nail gun. And still can't get out. What? Still has to get Hal to come pull him out.
I know.
With the reaching thing. They flash back to the reaching thing several times in this movie. Like we didn't get it. That's
the hand
that's a
reaching
trigger
down.
point.
Right, yeah.
We get it. It's trigger.
Yeah.
This time he did it. This time he did it. This time he did it. It's like, yay. You know, that he wants us to be like, yay. Oh, he's overcome the thing that made him sad at the beginning. So, a little tropey. But, yeah, he just fires his thing and straight up just blasts giant holes in Travers at this point. And that wouldn't have happened.
No. And
those guns are powerful, but they're not that fucking powerful.
And that gun, that bolt gun or whatever.
Yeah, it's the gun that climbers use to, like, plunge nails into the side of the cliff so they can hook on.
And that was a big point of contention in the rock climbing community because they were like, that's not realistic at all. You don't typically use those because it destroys the rock.
Right.
Because there's so much force that
they
it
like to wedge.
The rock.
They like to wedge with a hammer between
right.
In cracks that are already there.
Right.
Because you're not widening the crack, you're getting it inside the, natural.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't like that. But it's like,
there's got to be so many things that the rock climbing community didn't like about this movie.
But, the gun's in there because he shoots Travers with it.
But none of that.
They worked backwards on that.
None of that had to happen. I mean, really, there could have been better ways to dispose of Travers that would have been more appropriate. The underwater thing, it's like we managed to get almost all the way through Cliffhanger without someone going under the ice somewhere and being wet. In addition, the fact that he's already not wearing hardly any clothing.
I felt so bad for him.
I did too.
When they like send them up, they're so mean.
They're so
like,
mean.
The very first kids are like, fetch, and they're like,
Travers,
take off all your clothes.
Travers, and they're like, take his coat for insurance. So he's climbing this fucking sheer cliff face in sub-zero temperature in a t-shirt.
Gray t-shirt.
Well, before I watched this, I watched a whole big thing talking about Judge Dredd. So I know I'll get ahead of myself talking about Judge Dredd, but I feel like it's pertinent.
No spoilers. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
God,
but the
I
whole
want
big
you
thing
to
about
come
him
over and
taking
watch
off his
Judge Dredd
helmet.
with me.
Like, that was a whole big thing. What Judge Dredd apparently in the comics does not take off
I said no
his helmet.
spoilers. No, I knew that. That's like the big complaint I always hear about that movie.
Yeah. But so I was watching a video that Sylvester Stallone is known for being an absolute control freak. And it is what led to Judge Dredd being the kind of movie that it was. And he insisted, he doesn't want his face not being seen. So, of course, I'm taking off the helmet. I don't give a shit.
Right.
So, I feel like it's probably a scene where, like, oh, yeah, I'm not showing off my arms. I'm not going to wear a jacket this whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
Give me a reason to take it off. I'm just not going to wear it.
I worked out
totally
for
see
so many hours, and I have all this oil on me.
Yep.
I need my arms and muscles to be visible as much as possible, please. But he was cold. There's no way he wasn't cold all the time in this movie. And that's I'm talking about Sylvester Stallone, not his character.
Right.
Because he wasn't wearing any fucking clothes.
What Tyler, what you said about him probably just wanting to show off totally tracks. Because I know, like, there's a quote from him saying that, like, he was in the best shape of his life in Cliffhanger.
So he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna wear a cover up this whole time in the snowy mountains.
It makes no narrative sense because it's like, take his coat for insurance. What about his friend that we have here? Is he not insurance enough? No. Let's make it harder for him to get the thing that we need.
And
let's make him possibly. It's so cold out here, he might not make it down. Much less, he won't be able to survive overnight in the mountains without this.
Dude, earlier you said that, like, you love Lawful Evil John Lithgow, which I also love Lawful Evil John Lithgow, but this is... Quaylen is chaotic evil. He's not lawful evil because, like,
and not terribly bright.
No, because, like, he straight up, like, they send Stallone up and they're like, okay, he's gonna get it. Kill him when he comes down. Why? And he says, why? He says the reasoning is we don't need two guides. Well, why not? Like, isn't two guides better than one guide? He's just like, kill him when he comes down.
Yeah.
Well, and kudos to the other character who every time they put him in that scenario multiple times
I know.
throughout the course of the movie, he's always like, no, they're going to do the
They're
thing.
gonna kill you.
They're going to do the thing.
They're gonna blow you up.
He's like, he
his
doesn't
role.
care. He's like, fuck it. Fuck it. If the thing is, I like to think that Michael Rooker's character, Hal, was thinking I deal with death-defying situations all the time. They're probably going to kill me.
Right.
And if they do, they're definitely going to die up here because they need us to get anywhere.
Yeah.
They're not getting home without me, so fuck them. If they kill me, they're killing themselves, and that would be just fine. I like to think that's sort of the mentality.
Yeah, totally.
And the fact that, I'm with you, Tyler. The fact that he's just like, fuck it. Gang, look out, there's a bomb. Shut up, you.
Right.
Quiet, you.
Quiet, you.
Let's keep telling the loud guy our plans.
And then also,
It was proven that he doesn't, he will
doesn't-
not listen and do what we tell him
His
to
own
do.
safety is not a priority.
Point a gun in his head. It doesn't fucking work.
He was just mad at this guy for killing his girlfriend that he might have also been sleeping with, but he will not have any sense of his own self-regard.
they were just kissing friends, okay? There was like, and then there's a scene where Travers is trying to, like, get one over on Quaylen, which I loved that they were constantly at odds with each other. Because I love it when villains, they're both villains, but they're, like, forced to work together. And then you've got the guy
Quiet villain
who's-
and loud villain.
right. And then you've got the guy who's also forced to work with them. So you've got this, like,
They've put
triangle.
together. Can I just get in on that a little?
Please.
The team that they assembled to steal this money.
Right.
The worst possible grouping of people.
Pretty bad.
I mean,
Pretty bad, especially for one for a narcissist to run. Yeah, pretty bad.
Oh my God. None of these. It's like, first of all, you would have thought that he would have said, I hate every single one of these people, but they really serve an important role on the team. No, they don't.
No.
There was there was no point to either of the henchmen that weren't Travers, to any of the henchmen that weren't Travers, other than cannon fodder.
Black guy knew karate really well.
Dude, can I tell you about my favorite scene in the whole fucking movie?
It might be
the
mine,
whole
too.
goddamn fucking movie. I love this so goddamn much. I laughed my fucking ass off. There's a scene where the black dude with the knife is like gonna fucking kill Stallone. I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna take care of your bitch. And then
I'm going to treat her right.
right, yeah. And then so they're fighting. He's kicking the shit out of Stallone. It's
Who, by the way, if you don't mind, again, everyone in this movie is a match for Sylvester Stallone, including John Lithgow, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
That was the thing I had to suspend the disbelief the most, is that literally everyone could kick Sylvester Stallone's
I like
ass.
that he's not the ultimate badass.
I do
that
too.
It makes sense that he's not, because every time he's getting his ass kicked in the movie, which is a lot, I would remind myself, oh yeah, he's like a rescuer. He's not a
He's not a fighter.
right.
And
but
I get
he
it.
still manages to win in each of the fights.
But-
The Bulk and Skull characters do love him so much, though.
But I saw his
The
arms.
Bulk and Skull characters, the two comedic relief, surfer climber guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
One of them has to be. I thought one of them would be named Bodie.
Dude, it's
for
Gabe.
Sure.
It's Gabe, man.
Man, we're like,
What are you doing
friends
with those
the
guys?
Rangers.
He reminded me of that commercial that they play all the time on the radio around here, where it's, hey, it's Dave, man. Dave's not here. No, I just got back from Feeling Groovy, man, at Anna in Vine, Illinois. That's got the most unique gift shop in town. Dave's not here. This is Dave, man.
Are we doing Cheech and Chong bits on the radio now? They're just stealing that, right?
I'm gonna bleep that out. No free pub. Anyway,
But man, so they're fighting in these caves, right? And they're like, the bad guy's got a knife. He's kicking the shit out of Stallone, talking about how he's gonna treat his lady and fucking. I mean,
I'm going to get Katie and cut some bacon off your back.
and so they're
Katie got
fighting
those
in
big
this.
titties.
They're fighting in this cavern with all these stalactites, and then Stallone just he's down on the ground, and he goes and he reaches up, he grabs the guy's balls through his pants, and then he grabs his neck, and then he stands up and does a shoulder press into the ceiling of the cavern.
of an obviously 230-pound dude.
Oh yeah, no, this is not.
He's made of paper, though, to be fair. He's made of paper that just slides right through that stalactite.
And he just impales him on this stalactite. I fucking loved that so much. Yeah, because it is so fucking stupid, but also so much fucking fun
so
when that
satisfying.
happens.
I actually said, "Oh hell yeah!"
And that knife is hilarious too, because the moment he pulls that knife out, I'm like, that's not a real knife. It does. Maybe it is, but it's super.
The only
I
thing
laughed.
that would have been more satisfying is if he had then dropped him on a stalagmite.
Oh my god!
I was hoping for that.
It was like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
It really was.
It
really was.
straight up was.
I laughed in the same fight whenever the guy's pulls his knife. I'm only going to ask you 3 times.
Where's the money?
2 more times.
Right?
And Stallone missed
And then
so
he
many.
does a ninja move and shit.
Yeah.
It's
And then he's like, I'm going to kill you anyway. It's like the guy's all over the place.
Stallone missed so many your mama jokes there too.
Yeah.
I left it at your mom's place last night, or something. Just anything would have worked better than I burned it. Don't tell him that. Tell him I paid your mom with it last night. Something, but yeah, that was good shit.
Oh, it's so funny.
And it was satisfying because that guy also goes out of his way to be just an absolute prick
Yeah.
for no reason. Again, they're back to let's just fucking be 100% awful all the time,
Yeah.
and they'll probably just play along because they're scared of us.
the villains
we're
in this
badass.
movie are young D&D players playing their first evil characters.
Sounds
Yes.
where they're
about
just
right.
nonsensically
Yes.
prickish murderers for no reason.
Hear me out. This might sound a little crazy, but I used to be a professional soccer player, and now I steal millions of dollars. That I want to talk about that scene too, because I was also laughing my ass off at that, where it's like one of the villains, I guess, used to be a professional soccer player and is kicking Michael Rooker's character around like a soccer ball, calling the shots.
Like the old man was just a delivery system for a knife.
Yep.
That's all he was.
Yep.
I had a lot of fun watching this movie.
Oh yeah, me too.
And I, for whatever your reasoning, I highly recommend everyone give this a watch.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good time. It's a popcorn movie, as they call it.
Yeah.
Because despite the fact that it is just loaded with nonsensical and banal dialogue, it is really well shot. There are a lot of good action scenes, a lot of really great stunts. It's worth a watch. A little less than 2 hours of your day, and you'll be glad you saw it. That's all I have to say about Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I don't know if that covers it for you guys.
Got
the movie.
A little bit of trivia.
Yes, let's have some trivia.
Some of it I've already mentioned. Some of it came up organically. But I meant to mention when you were talking about a reboot,
Yes.
Stallone wanted to do a sequel to Cliffhanger. He's wanted to do a sequel called The Dam for a long time.
Ooh, I love the sound of that.
It's interesting, but at the same time, it's like, that's not on a mountain. Like, the whole thing about Cliffhanger is like, it's on a mountain, you know?
Right.
But if they're climbing around the dam, I guess that would be a thing.
I'm done with this. I'm going to go work on the dam.
I can't possibly run into any trouble there. Have you ever seen the movie Daylight with Sylvester Stallone?
No, I haven't.
There is a collapse of a tunnel that goes under water, and the tunnel is filling with water, and he has to try to get a group of people out of the tunnel before it fills with water. And there's a criminal element, I think, in there somewhere. But
It's bad water.
I'm wondering if Daylight came as a we're not doing the dam.
Right. Maybe.
But I have an idea.
What year did it come out? Do you know?
I can look. I don't know.
Because he wanted to do the sequel. He wanted to do The Dam in 1994. That didn't work out. And then he tried to resurrect it again in 2008. So if the movie you're talking about came out after 2008, say there's probably a pretty good chance.
Daylight came out in 1996.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was 3 years after Cliffhanger. Daylight for me is another one of those. I doubt there's a game for it, but it belongs in the Stallone catalog of we should watch these movies sometime. Anyway,
there was someone else who was potentially going to be cast as Quaylen. I would have absolutely have loved to see this. I think honestly, even more than Lithgow. That's Christopher Walken.
That
you
would have
mean
made
his
more
character?
sense.
You mean Christopher Walken's character from A View to a Kill? Because he was basically Quaylen in A View to a Kill. His name was began with a Z. I can't remember.
I was thinking Joe Dirt.
Well, he's Christopher Walken in everything, isn't he?
Yeah.
But in A View to a Kill, the hit 1984 James Bond movie starring Roger Moore and Grace Jones, he was that guy. He was this megalomaniacal. He would be the equivalent of like an evil Elon Musk type today. But he had that same
just say Elon
attitude. I can leave. That was redundant. I apologize. But yeah,
It's like saying an ATM machine. ATM to him is part of the machine.
Do you think they would have had Christopher Walken do the accent?
I hope so.
Can you imagine
I hope so.
Christopher Walken's take on a really bad British accent?
I want to hear
There's
it.
no way it would be good.
I want to hear it.
I mean, good. I think it would be good. It would be great.
No matter what, yeah,
In
it
its-
would be
in
great.
its awfulness.
Supposedly, Stallone wanted to do part of the reason he wanted to do this movie was to try to help him get over his fear of heights, which seems like a real
immersion therapy.
Ooh, boy.
That is not the way I would have gone, but okay, I guess.
And then there's a scene in the movie. I thought this was really interesting because when I was watching the movie, I thought that was weird. There's a scene in the movie where I think it's Travers, like, just goes fucking crazy, and he's like, "I'm gonna hunt him down," and he's got this.
Yeah,
fucking,
he's given up. He's at this point. He's like, "Fuck it."
He reaches fuck it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it. Point. Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
He's got big. What's Bill? Shit. What's his last name? Bill. What's his name? Fuck it. We'll do it live. Energy. Yeah. That is Travers' character in a perfect nutshell.
I don't know.
Man, I can't believe I'm brain farting on that. But there's a scene where, like, I think it's him. Correct me if I got my scenes mixed up. I might have. Where he fucking goes crazy and just starts shooting at a rabbit because the rabbit has Stallone's character put the tracker on the rabbit.
Yes, it's him.
They think they're going to the case, but they're actually going after a rabbit.
He's had enough.
And
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly,
He's got
thank
big
you.
Bill O'Reilly
Yes.
energy.
Yeah.
And he goes
For sure.
nuts and starts spraying
He
the
goes
sunshine.
straight up the scene from Predator where they all freak out
Yeah.
and just unload into
Yeah.
the forest, into the
I'm going to have me a
jungle.
good time. I'm going to have me some fun. I'm going to have me some fun.
I'm gonna cut your name into it. But yeah, he does. And the fucking funniest fuck you in this movie is after he unloads his rifle on this rabbit. He missed the rabbit.
The rabbit pops back up.
He missed, and then he loses it. It's like I can't even kill a fucking rabbit with this machine gun, and it was the final fuck you. And then he just goes nuts.
I thought it was weird that he didn't kill the rabbit. Like, I remember when I was watching the movie, I was like, it's a lot of bullets. Snow is, I guess going to absorb a couple of those. Originally, that rabbit dies in the movie.
Oh, really?
And when they screened it, audiences were so disgusted by it.
That tracks. I love it.
Sylvester Stallone paid $100,000 of his own money to reshoot that rabbit coming back up over the snow mountain.
I love that. I love that.
I thought that was wild. A lot of people could have been like, cut the scene?
Because he still has plenty of freak out coming.
Right.
After that, because it's really hilarious that he's like, gets on the radio. At this point, the FBI is on their way in the helicopter. He gets on the radio and he says, "Fuck you, Quaylen, I'm out. You fucked." He's like, "Don't
No names.
No names.
This is
He's
an
like,
open signal.
"Fuck you, Eric Quaylen." Says his full name. He just goes
goes full
straight.
Randy Quaid.
Just flips off the entire world from the top of the mountain, and then goes after Gabe.
Mountain sickness.
Surprised they didn't come up with that. Something like that. Hypoxia.
Oh, man.
They weren't that high up.
Fuck.
It's the Wendigo.
The Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Recommend. I do recommend. I watched it in 30-minute increments, which is, I hear how you're supposed to do it.
I get it.
But it still worked. It was just busy. It was just like, I got 30 minutes. I watched, okay, that was good. I'd wait till the scene was over and be like, pause. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'd go and do the things I need to do and be like, all right, I got 30 more minutes. Sit down. Okay. I still enjoyed it that way.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. I hadn't seen it in a while, so I'm really glad I got the chance to rewatch. 4 stars. Wiz Sage, what's my name? Wiz Poochie says, check it the fuck out. I love it. I love this movie.
I didn't expect to like it. I truly didn't. I truly went into this being like, fuck.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, it translates so well into the SNES game.
It does.
Because if I were like, man, if I'm going to make a Cliffhanger movie, what genre do I make a video game off of Cliffhanger? Well, there are only like 5 bad guys, so it's got to be a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
I was about to say, I think the developer also asked that question, and they were like, I don't know. We should put like some of the worst platforming in a video game in it as well.
How about this? How about we take a break?
Okay.
and come back and talk about the cliffhanger. The cliffhanger maybe not as good as the movie.
Yeah, I think that's.
Let's talk about the video game. I have some thoughts as well, and I think we should probably get to that.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah.
If I were omnipotent for a day, I'd make myself omnipotent forever.
So no one told you life was gonna be this way.
Hello. Oh, Rachel, it's the Visa card people.
Oh, okay. Will you take my place?
All right. Yes, this is Rachel.
In second gear, but when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year, well, I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too.
Saturday night, the big night, date night, Saturday night, Saturday night.
No plans, huh?
Not a one.
Things are going great. Your mother warned you there'd be days like these, but she didn't tell you when the world has brought you down to your knees that I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too.
You know, on second thought, gum would be perfection. Gum would be perfection? Gum would be perfection. Could have said gum would be nice. Could have said I'll have a stick. But no. For me, gum is perfection.
Rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too. 'Cause you're there for me too.
Why would I? It's not like I know her.
I can't believe you people. I mean, here you are, calmly talking about the murder of a beautiful, innocent woman whose only crime, as far as I can see, is that she married you, Jimmy. So you know what? I'm not going to listen to this anymore. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go. Does this slide?
And now for the game talk.
Game talk.
Game talk.
We're doing a draft for the game talk. Is that right?
Sure.
Nope, everybody's just going to have to tune in next week when we do our intro stories and our draft and all the stuff we would normally do.
Okay, that's fair.
And
Not
for
to
the
them, but
for
to
the
me.
listeners to know, we're doing Cliffhanger this week. We're going to take a break next week because of scheduling. So we're going to have an all calls that we're going to record today as well.
We've had a rough schedule.
A bit of a rough schedule, and we're glad that we've had the time to be able to get everything done. But so we're going to skip next week. The Stallone Fest is going to be paused while we do an all calls and a catch up with you episode, and then back to Stallone with Judge Dredd the following week.
Yeah.
So
I really appreciate you guys hanging with me because, like, I know I was at a lot of the reschedulings because of me because I was traveling for work, and then Henry had his musical at school that I didn't want to miss, and that was on a regular recording night. So
it was nice too, though, that we ended up having to do that. We're recording on a Friday night this week because of all of the scheduling mumbo jumbo, and that means I don't care how late we're here
nice to know
because
not
I don't
going to
have to be at
work.
work first thing in the morning. So
Right.
yeah, it worked out real well. And I don't think I've ever done a twofer in one night with you guys. So this will be the first for me.
Nice.
And we're totally gonna pretend like we didn't just record an episode 5 minutes prior to this.
Let's on next episode.
We are okay.
That was not that was a command.
Let's predict the things that are going to happen in the week. Let's start off next episode with all our wow, that was a crazy week, right?
Yep.
I think work is probably going to be busy.
Yeah, we'll
and
just do the bingo card. Saw a lot of frog pussy this week.
Yeah,
Work was crazy.
La Mulana. I don't know. Tyler, what are we playing? What did we play this week?
Cliffhanger.
Yes,
I like it when you say it like it's a death metal.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
I gotta say it like the not all cool like the nine-tailed fox in the subtitle Naruto,
yeah.
but the awful dubbed one where whenever they become friends, it really makes no sense. Hearing lots of dialogue come from Kurama being like, "Oh, no, come on, Naruto, put our energies together." Well, Cliffhanger, the box art. What'd you guys think of the box art for Cliffhanger?
I would have been surprised if they had done anything short of having a picture of Sylvester Stallone hanging off of a cliff. I would have been disappointed. Then, of course, it is just the scene of him hanging off a cliff.
It is, but it's. I feel like they could have chosen a better still because he's got this dumb smirk. It's not even like a cocky.
It's almost
smirk.
like a promo shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's from the beginning, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, it is
where it's
right from the beginning.
Nothing bad has happened yet. I feel like this should be him in his fucking gray t-shirt,
He's fresh.
Stabbing two guys who are also wielding two knives.
Right.
Get 5 knives on the box art because that's better representative of the game.
And a guy on a platform, several guys on several platforms up on the side of the mountain with rifles.
Shooting bullets bigger than the gun.
Shooting bullets bigger than the barrel of the gun.
Can't wait to talk about those bullets.
The bullets were fun. So yeah, I mean the box art was fine. I think it does the thing it's curb appeal. It's going to be like, whoa, this is a Stallone game. This is a same reason they did it that way for Demolition Man. The same reason all the Simpsons games are what they are. They just put it out there because we want people to see that this is a movie or game based on this movie starring Sylvester Stallone, and we were able to get his likeness for the box art.
Right.
Which by this point in the game, you'd think people would have known better than to fall for it. But here we are.
Here we are.
If you were to compare your experiences playing this game to a movie or a celebrity or some form of media, what would you compare it to?
Die Hard.
Die Hard, okay.
I mean,
yeah.
and Dave mentioned that earlier. This is Die Hard on a mountain, for sure.
Yeah,
and it's just that action packed. But it again, it's because of the movie. The game itself, I'm not gonna bother. I mean, it's like a. I don't know. I have lots of things to say about the game. I do. Dave, what's your response?
It's if we're doing piece of media, that would be great because
mine is a piece of media.
American Gladiators for me because
Nice.
Because I mean that's what it felt like. It's just running these fucking weird obstacle courses and all of that shit was just
There's
the fight with every villain was coming to Nitro at the end.
Yeah. He's
got a big
fighting
Q-tip.
Diamond.
Yeah.
while somebody is firing tennis balls at you
Right.
from an air cannon.
That's the vibe of this
a good
game,
one.
man.
That's a good one.
Probably even more so than the actual American Gladiators game, which we'll play.
Yeah.
It'll be great, Dave.
I already have feelings about that one.
No, I said it will be great.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I chose the cripple fight from South Park.
Okay.
when Jimmy and Timmy fight. Because the game is really slow.
Yes.
Slow as two crippled people getting in a fist fight.
Yep.
It's brutal in its own way, but it's real slow.
My answer before you said piece of media would have been Dr. Phil for sure. I still can't get over how much goddamn he looked like Dr. Phil.
It's a different look to choose.
And they put him in the game, kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
He's pretty much in there, but like they gave him a skullet because I guess they were like,
And no mustache.
I think he had the mustache.
Not in his little representative icon at the top of the screen.
I didn't look
He's
at that.
clean shaven in that.
That's
And it's like,
hilarious.
you could have literally made. You could have put a picture of anyone
Yeah.
with a mustache, and it would have been better than what you did.
That's hilarious because I feel like the sprite had a mustache.
Maybe,
But like the
did.
profile, because I didn't even look at the profile picture.
Oh.
That one did not. That's great.
It was rough. It was rough.
Little inconsistency.
Inconsistency is a good word to describe everything about this game, unless you refer to its boring and mundane gameplay and level design.
Level design's a problem.
It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Still looks more like a greaser from Grease than
Yes.
he does. Literally, white T-shirt and like jeans.
Yeah.
Brawler pose going through.
Yeah. They
I fight for the Jets. Who are you?
Yeah.
the side-scrolling.
We are the Sharks.
Was that your Lithgow as the shark? Yeah, I love that. The Sharks.
I left the FBI and I joined the Sharks.
Now I'm the only pilot now that I've murdered my girlfriend.
I don't like side-scrolling beat 'em ups to begin with.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Bad ones are even worse, and this was a bad one.
This is
Insulin. Would you have thought of that?
He does say that. I forgot about that. He does say that. He does.
I rolled my eyes.
I know.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, is this
Just
necessary?
pets her face. Yes, my expendable pet.
Just keep fucking pushing it. Just make sure you've got all your entire team just as mad at you and at each other as possible.
You'll make somebody a fine wife one day. You've even seen me cook.
I imagine John Lithgow like talking to the director like in between scenes, and he's like, "So should I always be out of 10?"
Yes, please. Always 10.
The game. Back to the game.
She's the parallel to your white cat that you're stroking. So that's how you need to treat her character.
A lot of these one-liners make the scroll under the cutscenes
In the game.
between levels. A lot of this, as if to say, we love this dialogue so much, and it was so catchy and meaningful that we had to include it.
I
in
know
the
I've made
game.
this joke before, but it looks like someone drew the cast from memory,
Yeah.
trying in all these cutscenes because
with Microsoft
just
Paint.
the vaguest.
I'm not sure that they got the likeness rights for anybody else in the movie. I really don't think. I mean, we talked
No
about
one
this in
looked the
Demolition
same.
Man, where
Yeah.
it's like Stallone looked like Stallone, and I feel like everyone else kind of looked like you said, Tyler. They were drawn from memory.
Did Travers have a mustache? I don't think so.
Where we had
He was bald though. Yeah.
Yeah, he was bald. He had like a Frasier cut, right?
the one thing I can
Early
say,
Frasier or late Frasier?
Late Frasier.
the one thing I can say is where this game, one of the ways that this game succeeded, and we'll get into this good things, bad things stuff in a minute, but I do want to note that I felt like this game at least made the effort to follow somewhat the plot of the movie, even though they did a little rewriting of it to fit the game.
Sure.
They did a better job of sticking with the movie than Demolition Man did.
That is true. I agree with that.
They wanted this to be you're playing the game of the movie as opposed to where they just completely dropped the ball in last week's episode of on Demolition Man. At least the effort was made this time around, and I want to make sure that's clarified before we.
Are we on to
proceed.
good things?
Outside of a beat 'em up was not the right genre for
Man, but I love
game.
that it was. I mean, I agree that it wasn't the right genre because but then again, I don't know.
What would at the same time, what would I pick? What would I choose?
I mean, a platformer I think makes the most sense if you're actually cliffhanging, but like
first person dungeon crawler, probably
a dating sim.
Well, listen, I actually made a note here about this just once, and I think it would have been amazing for this to happen for a random movie like Cliffhanger. I would love for the developers to just knock it out of the park. And I think like an RPG would have been excellent here. You have like a Zelda style RPG because you've got to go find all the cases, you've got to fight the bosses, you've got to rescue your friends. You know, I think something like that would have been neat. And if they'd have said, you know, fuck it, we're not going to make this a big violent beat 'em up type of thing. We're going to make this an adventure game and a thrilling, you know, bridges falling out from under you and things like that. I think that would have been awesome.
Like Yoda stories. Did you ever play Yoda stories?
Oh, I did. God, I haven't thought about that in forever.
That's like a Star Wars Zelda game.
But I think it would have been neat for the developers to just jump in with something completely unexpected and make it a good game. But again, I know the budgeting and they're out there to get this out there for people to just buy on a goof and not because they're looking for an excellent gaming experience.
That's a good point. I mean, if they would have done an RPG, like an action RPG, it probably would have been a very bad one. I mean, you know, I don't think I hate to be like this, but I don't think whatever Cliffhanger product they put out, it was destined to
they're
be
not like
horrible.
getting Square Enix to fucking build A tier or S tier, you know, RPG.
This was developed by Malibu Interactive.
I get it. Maybe it would have made sense as my least favorite genre, which is the cinematic platformer.
Yeah.
Make it to where you're barely able to get to your jump and your climbs are difficult. You're
already
traversing is the hardest
already the
part.
case.
Well, yeah.
Like the jumps are like, what the fuck, man? But like
jumping on that log in the river.
Oh my god. Well, I want to talk about that for sure. But like, I think they got to a beat 'em up from like this route. I honestly do think if you were like take the movie Cliffhanger and add up all the scenes where people are fighting, it far outweighs like anything else in the movie. You know, like
yeah, that's true.
Because there's so much fighting in it, and
that's
it's like,
true.
and which I like. I mean, I think makes it a fun movie. But I think that's maybe how they got to a beat 'em up. Maybe they were like, I don't know, everyone's gonna think this is a platformer, so why don't we fucking zag?
It surprised me.
I
mean, when it fired up, I was like, holy shit, this is a fucking beat 'em up.
And I got excited for a second.
I knew you would briefly.
Because what the Sega CD version had like a first person snowboarding level where you jump over pieces of terrain and stuff. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I think
it didn't look terrible.
Did they do a base jumping scene where you could base jump as the kids?
That would have been cool too. Yeah, and then get shot and killed.
Missed opportunity there,
man. Yeah, and we didn't even talk about in the movie. There's so much in the movie, man. We didn't talk about the wolves trying to eat the kid.
Oh my god! Yes.
I mean, the movie's all over the place.
I even noted in my Zelda style RPG that wolves could be enemies.
You got to get the gun to scare the wolves off.
Yes. Yes.
And then we didn't talk about the old man Frank dying.
Frank gets it hard.
Yeah.
We knew this was coming. We knew it was coming.
Frank! Like,
Hal, once again. That is the point at which they just let Hal go. They're like, fuck it. He's going to do it anyway. We might as well let him be up there to see his friend get murdered.
Oh, man.
But we didn't get any of that. We didn't get any of that in this game.
Yeah, the game could have been Pretend to be dead simulator. Pretend to be dead until Frank shows up. And shoot him simulator.
In mode 7.
Yes, of course.
I think they could have had. I think
management sim where you play Quaylen. Instead, you're just directing everybody what to do.
But you
management sim.
but like if you're not overtly aggressive, they
don't respect
do
you.
anything.
You see the meter of respect going down, so you got to be super aggressive to keep them hostile but in line.
There's also like a rage meter where like they disappoint you a certain number of times and it feels you have to kill them.
Yes. again, I don't know that I can't say that I should have expected this. I would have thought that maybe some cold damage give you incentive to move.
Yeah,
there's no cold
survival
damage,
game.
or like climbing stamina.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I kind of am falling into the Zelda thing here, where you are in cold weather and they take damage and die if you don't get to a fire.
Gotta get your blue T-shirt.
Yeah,
So
get
you
your
don't-
blue suit on.
But you Dark Souls style, you have to find the campfire.
I know. I
in this
love
game.
that. I love that you go to like the campfires. Yeah.
Tiny little, and I'm. Why would they not make the campfires be out of money?
I know. You got to put money on them. Yeah.
Throw some money on there.
You know,
You pick up money every time you kill a bad guy and then throw
it on the
money.
fire, and that like replenishes some of your health. Like the more
Yes.
money you throw on the fire, the more health you
Right.
get back.
Instead of it just I did like the fact that they put them there and it replenishes all your health
You're
and you
right.
get a fresh
Yeah.
run at everything.
And they're essentially a checkpoint.
yeah,
too.
they're checkpoints and they're good. They're frequent enough.
Yeah.
So
I guess. I mean, they are.
If you get that far, I guess they're frequent enough.
I feel like they're frequent enough, but they're constantly like in juxtaposition with the fact that this game is like, oh, there's no continues in this game. Like, forget
No
about
password, no continues.
that. Yeah, forget about all that. And then it's like, I even got to a point where it's like, cheat codes, right? I found some for the Sega Genesis, but I didn't find any for the Super Nintendo because I wanted to there's a code for the Genesis to give yourself 99 lives, and it's like, fuck yeah, let's do this Contra style where it's I can just
got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
Just
throw
gonna
myself at the meat grinder.
Push forward.
Yep,
Travers style.
Travers style.
Travers style. One of the first bosses you fight is one of the characters' names is Heldon.
Yes,
in the movie, and Heldon in the movie is a short dude with long flowing blonde hair. Heldon in the game is a big bald dude,
super tall,
real
Super
tall, like a good foot taller than.
If you punch him, it says you and Dore.
They didn't even try with him,
and
it wasn't even a missing Travers mustache thing. It was like the guy didn't look a thing like his character in the movie.
In his profile photo, I did notice because I was like,
oh, this game was based on the novelization. Sorry.
Fuck, that would be great. I would love to play a video game based on the novelization of a movie.
Cliffhanger. Specifically
Of Cliffhanger. Or Street Fighter the movie.
The Mask also has a novelization.
Oh,
Let's not forget.
Because you
Book
see,
Club, Tadpog Book Club.
you see in the book, Heldon was bald.
Oh, that's weird. When I read the book, I pictured Travers to be Kevin Costner. That's weird that he wasn't.
I didn't want him to be that much of a dick.
What were we talking about?
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I just can't remember.
I had said cold damage, and we went to the little campfires and throwing money on the campfires.
Oh, the profile.
Yes.
You were talking about Heldon.
Yes.
Like, he looks like, because I didn't even recognize him. I was like, who is this guy from the movie? Was this guy in the movie? And now I know based on what you said. But in order to try to figure it out, I was like, for once, I guess I did look at the profile image of who you're fighting. And I was like, that looks like Michael Rooker. I did. And I was like,
I don't know.
is he like, and his name is Hal. Is this like the Hell version? Is this like Heldon?
He has a little mustache to differentiate him. He's evil Hal.
I like how they translated, all the low roundhouse kicks that Sylvester Stallone does in the movie over to the video game. To at the cost of your health to do your little kicks.
It's a sweet move. I didn't even know about it at first.
Yeah.
If you do R or L, he does this low sweep. And I didn't realize that it was sapping my health every time I did it. Because I was like, I found it. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. This is it. I found the magic bullet to get through Cliffhanger.
It'll cost you, though.
And then one guy hit me once. And I was like, oh, I see.
No.
I've been drinking
One of
my health.
those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been Dark Knighting this.
The other thing I found funny about this was at one
Cut my
point,
life into pieces.
in the game, much like in the movie, you make it to the Douglas Station, which is like a ranger station, an old ranger station on the mountain that's been there forever and ever. In the movie, that's where he and Jesse meet up, and he has been only in his T-shirt this whole time. And he runs into the building, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're frozen!" And she breaks open the display and gets him his an old sweater out of the display of old mountain equipment, and he puts that on. But when he goes to the Douglas Station in the game, after leaving Douglas Station, he's still only wearing a T-shirt. They didn't even bother to change the sprite to having wearing a sweater, which would have literally involved just coloring him in at the top, his arms. But yeah, he does not actually put a sweater on in the game. So he fights through this entire game in a T-shirt and jeans or whatever.
So have we said good things?
I have some good things.
I have mentioned one. Believe it or not, I have several good things.
Okay, what you got?
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that your weapon doesn't just get knocked out of your hand when you get hit.
Yeah.
Like, it's very common in a beat 'em up where you like have a knife or something, and as soon as you get hit, it knocks your knife away.
Pipe, club, one hit gone. Yeah.
I like that you get to keep it.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you're alive and as long as you don't pick up another weapon, you get to keep that weapon.
Yep. And
you need the weapons. His fighting isn't great. His moves aren't great.
No, they're pretty. They're pretty horrible.
They're movie accurate. That was my good thing. They're movie accurate in that his punches don't do very well like they do in the movie. But when you shoot someone or stab someone, they do die pretty quickly.
Pretty quick.
So
And
that was accurate.
that
Not quick enough was my
not
complaint.
quick enough. It's like I get it. It takes 2 swipes with the knife to kill. Okay, I can live with this. It should be 1 shot with the gun.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was.
And
but
sometimes with the
heavy
knife,
hitters,
it's 3.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I would get
Some of the
frustrated
heavier
because
ones.
it's like I'd stab the dude twice. They'd fall down and have just like the fucking like cat's whisker.
I know.
And
It's like, all right, y'all. You know, this game is already long enough and boring enough. We don't need the fights to go on any longer.
Round up the damage.
I'm not, round it up. I'm not feeling like I'm getting more of my money's worth because it took me extra time to kill this guy. But I did like that you get to keep your weapon for as long as you choose to. I did mention actual character names and the other characters were in this game, whether they just be in cutscenes or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though their likenesses were not great, they were there. They were mentioned. There was no mention of, Sandra Bullock's character for Demolition Man or any of the others, as we said before. So I do like that they at least had that on their list of things that they needed to do. I thought that there was I thought it was good that they had as many like checkpoint / healing spots as they did.
Yeah.
Especially given the fact that there were no continues and no extra. There's some extra lives in there. I think they're points based.
Yeah, you get. I think I got an extra life at 100,000 points. I never got to 200,000 points, so I don't know if you get more.
They did they rewrote the script a little. In the game, you're kind of going to get all the cases for Quaylen. Okay, Quaylen, I've got your second case. You better not touch Hal. All right, I've got your third case. Come meet me. They sort of did that. I think they did that on purpose because they needed to get through it. And I thought that the fact that they had cutscenes that were relevant to the movie again was a nice touch. But boy, those renderings of those people were just terrible.
It's bad.
They were awful. And then my last good thing is the bats were in the game.
I didn't get that
the
far.
Scene, I watched a long play, which was only about 40 minutes, because I'm terrible at beat 'em ups. I get frustrated easily, and I don't like them anyway. So I played this game for about 20 minutes and then watched a long play. There is a scene where the bats chase you, similar to the avalanche. Only the thing, and the thing about that scene though that I thought about that part of the game that I thought was neat was A, they included it, and
right.
B, it goes to the left and straight across. You're not running to the right, you're running to the left, which is you don't see that a lot,
right?
In kind of cookie cutter movie based games like this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't downhill; it was just horizontal across gaps, and you had to jump rocks and stuff. But the whole time, a swarm of bats is chasing you, and I thought that was neat. That what I thought to be sort of a completely unnecessary scene in the movie, they went ahead and decided, we could make a cool thing out of that. We can do the bats. So that was my last good thing.
Well, it's all about making you not want to climb rocks.
Oh, I didn't want to
It
anyway.
makes you do not do that.
And watching the movie cemented that. I was like, that looks like a lot of work, and that is really hard.
Yes, yes. What are some of your good things, Dave?
So I loved how the enemies died in this game because it was hilarious. They when an enemy is lying dead on the ground before they flash and disappear, they got the perspective on the dead bodies so fucking wrong. It is hilarious. It's like they're flat. It's like the people, they look like they deflated.
Yeah.
Because they're so flat to the ground that it's like Looney Tunes, like a steamroller, ran over them kind of deal. It is fucking hilarious. And I loved that. Which I guess technically is a bad thing, but
for you, this is a good thing.
For me, it's
for the humor factor.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, it was charming. I know it wasn't intentional, but it was charming. I loved how the knife worked in this game. And Ian, you brought up a really good point that you don't lose it real easy. And that didn't even pop in my head, but you're totally right. But what I liked about the knife was it swung in such a wide arc that you could hit multiple. It was like an area of effect attack.
It was, and that helped.
And I loved that.
Yes.
And I thought that was I was like, wow. I've played a lot of beat 'em ups, and I don't remember a knife working this well in any beat 'em up.
Usually it's just like a stab.
Right, it's straight ahead.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting the dude straight ahead of you.
It knocks him down.
Right.
You just knock him down, they get back up. Three or four times, you just knock him down immediately.
And it tracks that it would be reasonable to assume that if I were being attacked and all I had in my hand was a knife, that I'm going to do a wide sweep with it, as an area to keep them back. Here. So that is a good point.
So I liked that. I didn't like how it controlled. I mean, because I had issues where it's like, I'm facing the wrong direction, and I get that that's on me, but it's also the animation is so long on the knife that when I'm accidentally facing the wrong direction and attack, it's like, oh fuck, here we go, because I'm doing this big long animation slash while the dudes behind me are like, all right, we're gonna kill you now.
They'll wait for just a moment. And then
I laughed at the dual wielding knife enemies who will twirl their knives and then
jump
raise
up in the
them
air.
up.
Right. Dude, the raise up reminded me, I thought of you specifically, Tyler, at Henry's musical because it was all pirate themed, and all these kids are dressed up as pirates, and one kid has a Wolverine costume on. And a yellow construction paper beard. And I was like, man, I don't know how many people here know because it was the 90s Wolverine. It was like, da-da-da-da-da-da. It was that Wolverine. He didn't have the claws or anything. He just had the jumpsuit.
Just a yellow jumpsuit.
Oh my God.
And I was like, it was so hard for me to not be like, it's Wolverine.
I mean, he would be alive in this time period. He lived all the way, so I mean, this is not anachronistic at all.
I'd read this. But sorry, you talking about leaping up and stabbing? The way you did it reminded me of Wolverine, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that did happen in real life. I didn't just dream it. Just a bunch of kids dressed as pirates, and one is Wolverine."
That's funny. That's really funny. There's a Wilhelm scream in the movie.
Yes, I know, right?
I wanted to mention that.
So another good thing, I like beat 'em ups a lot. I've played a whole bunch of them. Most of them take place in cities. They're in urban environments. Occasionally, like in Double Dragons and stuff, you'll have like a forest level or something like that, and you'll have some mountain levels here or there. But the setting felt really fresh to me.
Yeah,
it gets a little old because it's all on a mountain.
Very, 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 very same.
But playing for the first 20, 30 minutes, I was like, damn, this is cool. Like this,
Yeah, it's fresh.
Yeah, I like this. It feels totally different. And the game wasn't good, but I mean, yeah, it was nice.
It was
to
nice
see the
to
environment.
not see like all the graffiti and
Right.
trash cans on fire.
That
and-
graffiti's fun though in those games, man. I love
some
that
of it
shit.
is. Yeah.
Where it's like dick. Someone spray paint dick? Okay.
Okay. Is that how you choose to express yourself? That's cool.
I had a good thing that you get to fight a helicopter to death.
I was
Man.
wondering how they handled that
The
because I
final
didn't
level,
get
you
to that.
just punch and kick that helicopter.
Yep. So that was gonna be. I have something to say about that later, but yeah, at the end of the game, first of all, you fight the helicopter.
Yep.
You punch it, and then like after you've punched it a
You
few
punch it
times,
and like the glass breaks and stuff as you wear its health down.
and
That's a real
and
Wolverine
Then they
move.
send you. Yeah, then they send out bad guys, which shouldn't still exist by this point.
Right, yeah.
But then you got to fight one of each
Quaylen's multiple
of
man.
the bad guys to do it. And every time you beat one, then you've got to punch and kick the helicopter some more.
Okay.
And eventually you get one of the machine gun guys, and then you get his gun, and you can use the machine gun to destroy the helicopter.
Okay.
At which point it falls down the cliff, hangs off of the cable, and you fight Quaylen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Who is the biggest character, the biggest boss in the game. He's so big they had to have him like slouch over. It's unnatural looking, but he's huge. He's huge. And yeah, you fight him, and he's impossibly difficult. Like the guy the long play that I watched, and I'm sorry I forgot to note whose long play I watched, but had trouble with Quaylen.
Yeah.
Like more trouble than Stallone actually had with Quaylen's character in the movie.
So it makes way more sense in the movie.
Sure. I mean, under the circumstances, yes.
So where's Quaylen? He's the one wearing the helicopter.
God, that was one of the best lines in the movie. This was actually delivered by Hal, by Yondu. Says, yeah, he's about 4,000 feet south of here. He'll be the one wearing the helicopter. I actually laughed at that pretty hard.
His
too.
delivery, I felt like his delivery was good throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. Stallone's final, his final one-liner, and this goes to the side of things that he just didn't do right. It was right before he stomps Quaylen in the face and kicks him off the side the helicopter. He says, "Keep your arms and legs
Right.
inside the vehicle at all times." And he doesn't even say it fast. He
No.
says it like, and then pauses at an awkward spot before it was
He
bad.
says it like you would expect Stallone to say it.
yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
Keep your
Arms?
arms. Arms and your legs? That doesn't sound right.
Is that what they say?
I don't fly with the pores anymore. I don't know.
We drifted into bad things about the movie.
Well, it's still a good thing.
What my bad things are just the pace, the music, and the scenery. I got tired of the gray and light brown and white.
Yep.
Yeah, the
after
music
a while.
wasn't
so the
bad.
music was.
The music was of the movie.
Yeah, you're right.
It was
It's like
of the
everyone. It
theme
was like
of
the
movie.
same, like two or three.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of different
Right.
music, but they did have
Everything was
thematic
fine in
music.
small doses. Then it got old after a little while.
I thought the volume was weird. I don't know if you guys experience this or not, but like the intro to the game, like the music is like loud, and then like when you get into the actual gameplay, I had to like, okay, is there
Hulu
sound?
commercials,
And then I had
okay.
to like, yeah, there are like Hulu commercials. I had to turn it all the way up. It's like, oh, that's weird.
And then, I to be fair, I don't always play on with a lot of sound on any of these games because I'm usually not I'm usually in the room with someone else, and
Yeah,
I don't want
sure.
to put on headphones because I'm actually doing something else I want to hear. So I can't always give a good opinion about volume levels and sound levels. But
Dude, oh man, talking about the sound, I know we're not on bad things, but this might
we are. He
this,
started the bad thing.
This might be a good thing. Dude, the fucking sound effect when Walker kicks, it's like, and it connects with somebody. Sounds like a fucking pig, man. It sounds like a pig. It sounds like a pig oinking. And it's like, what? Who decided this? Who decided to do this? And I don't know what it's supposed to, I don't know what the sound's supposed to be like. It's almost like, well, we haven't done the kicking sound effect yet. Let's put the oink in until we get the kicking sound effect. This is a placeholder. Oh my God. It's confusing.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of bad things about it.
It's just boring, repetitive. Levels are too long, and there's not any variation.
Hit detection.
There's bad hit detection. And I have
bad.
problems with that on beat 'em ups anyway, especially when they're badly implemented like this one was.
Yeah.
You got to be way too low to actually connect, in my opinion. And then the sweeping kick thing that takes your health away. If you miss, you've made a grave error. You've hurt yourself and not done any damage. And I just, the whole thing was the background repeating over and over again, like the Flintstones or the Scooby-Doo when they're running, and it's the same, you know.
I mean, I'm glad there were climbing levels, but
Yeah, the vertical aspect
gonna
of
get
it.
shot to
I hate
shit.
those, man. And it's like, maybe you guys can explain the mechanic to me, because it's like, there are these segments where you climb vertically, and it totally reminded me of the old Spider-Man games where like Spider-Man climbs a building.
Or Rampage. Yeah.
And they're like guys on ledges with rifles shooting giant bullets at you. And what I seem to notice, and I don't know if this is the case or not, but it's like I could get hit in the chest and the legs all day long, and it would take health away. But if I got shot in the hand, I would instantly die. Because he would lose his grip and fall.
I did not notice that.
That's cool, but also fuck that, man, because it's like, it's so difficult to like position yourself where it's like, okay, this guy shoots 2 bullets every 3 seconds. So where do my hands need to be?
You're just gonna get fucking hit a lot.
Yeah, and that was my strategy, was just to like
just go
tank it and like just try to get hit in my chest instead of my hands.
You're right.
Yeah. As one does.
Because in this scenario, your hands are the vital organs, not your heart or your brain.
So that really annoyed me about the climbing, but I am glad that they included it in there.
It's a neat thing to have, and it's of course very appropriate. Yeah, I agree. I did like that. That actually was going to be on my list of good. Was that you had a vertical aspect? It was not greatly implemented, but the fact that it was there at all,
right?
Was
it would have if you didn't have anything like that. It was a straight side scroll beat 'em up. It would have been especially weird.
Yeah.
Another big, huge bad thing I have about it is the platforming in this game, I feel like, is absolutely abysmal.
Yep,
like
is.
absolutely. Like, not only does it feel janky, it doesn't feel well implemented. It also feels poorly designed. On top of that, Tyler, you mentioned the logs earlier.
Oh God!
There's a segment where logs are coming down a waterfall in the background. And then they go underwater for a second, and then they pop up in the foreground where you're supposed to jump on them. And you have to time it, which in itself I feel like is a challenge. They're presenting a challenging obstacle.
Yeah.
And that's fine if your mechanics are fucking crisp and responsive and do what you expect them to do. But they do not. And it's like, so the combination of those two things is just like, man, this is some of the worst video game that has like been on the Super Nintendo. Like, it's that stuff I feel like is that level where it's like, how did they release this where I got it eventually, but I was like frustrated by the time I got it. Cause I die, burn through. I would get to the log segment with 5 lives. Cause I played this on max lives, which I think is 7. And I would get there, burn 5 lives trying to learn how to get over these logs.
Yep.
Start from the beginning of the game, go through it again, get to those logs, and be like, okay, how many lives am I going to burn through till I figure out the timing on this?
Yeah.
And it's like the frame.
Because the way it disappears, then pops back up. Yeah, it's
they give you like, it's like the animation on it is like not smooth. It's like the log has 3 positions. Position 1 in the waterfall. Position 2 slightly in the background. Position 3 it's too late.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, so all right. It felt really janky and super unfair, and especially considering how unforgiving the game is, because it really is unforgiving in mistakes. Like, because there are no continues, because there's no passwords, there's no way to lower the difficulty. The only option you have is to increase your lives on the title screen. And I think that's just, it feels cheap. It feels cheap. Not only like in multiple sense of the word, it feels cheap. It feels like a cheap production decision, but it also feels like a cheap kill.
Yep.
No,
absolutely. Artificial difficulty.
Yeah.
Not a good game.
It's not. And I felt like they missed it. You mentioned the machine gun earlier, the submachine gun earlier. Why is the knife more effective than that?
Yeah, I know.
Because it's like I would you replace the punch button with the shoot button is essentially what happens when you pick up the gun. And it's like, it is so slow to start firing that gun. It's ridiculous.
And it's easy to miss with it because of that.
Because
as stupid as the AI is, it will get out of the way.
Dude, the AI is, it's like almost polite.
Yeah.
Because
they
it's like,
wait their turn.
Yeah, you'll be fighting a dude and like 2 other dudes will be like, it's cool. I'm in a spot where I can't see you. But they're right there, you know?
We're doing red coat rules.
And after you kill the one, they're like, I just realized there was a fight going on, and walk down to you and start killing you.
Yep.
Doop-de-doop-de-doo.
The avalanche segment, I think, is another one of those like segments that was very similar to the log segment, because
the jank is on full display.
The jank's bad, and also like you don't expect it at first, and I get that. They want to surprise you with the avalanche. First time I ran into first time the avalanche happened, it was like, oh, I died.
Yeah,
because an avalanche happened, and I wasn't expecting an avalanche.
That's fair
to
game.
happen.
All right, you get this one.
And then like it becomes an obstacle course, like fucking the end of a level in Paperboy style, where it's like you gotta like run an obstacle course while an avalanche chases you.
And know where you need to be and run.
You have to memorize it.
And time your jumps exactly right.
Great.
And the jumping was bad anyway, but when you're in a hurry, it's real bad.
Yeah.
And you can't touch anything.
No.
Little humps in the ground. Dead.
Right.
Brush. Dead. You know, that was where I gave up.
Yeah.
I died to that avalanche. Never even probably made it halfway through. And on the long play, when the guy made it through the avalanche part, I was like, there's no fucking way I ever would have made it through that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was badly executed.
Very badly executed. And it's a weird thing to include in a beat 'em up, even a beat 'em up with platforming, like that's a Double Dragon staple. I get it. It's just it's baked in. It's a River City Ransom. They do that a little bit too, but like to make it that live or die is crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's that at that point it's like
surfing in California games. That wave just
holy shit, man. I forgot about that, but you're right.
As soon as you start,
God damn that shit.
I think that, first of all, this avalanche part, possibly a missed mode 7 opportunity where you have it coming and you're running towards the screen. Maybe have it to, but the other side of that would have been I've seen games where in spots like this, in levels like this, it doesn't cost you a life to die to the avalanche, for example.
Yeah, you just start over.
Right.
You just start this part over. We realize how fucking abysmal this is. We realize how impossible it is. We realize that you don't
We're
have
sorry.
any continued.
Here's your discount.
Here's your discount, and you can run this as many times as you want, and you'll never lose your progress. You just got to slog through it. You will eventually make it. But the fact that it costs lives and is so ridiculously impossible to do kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure. I mean, it kind of reminded me of Indiana Jones a little bit in those games, because they would have these segments where it's like you're running from the ball, and stuff like that. But in Indiana Jones, it was implemented a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Because I can't emphasize...
It stops
the jank.
eventually.
Right. Yeah, it does stop. But I mean, it's like, it feels so bad to run and jump in this game that, like, expecting you to run an obstacle course or die, like they'll let you make like 2 mistakes, which is that's not enough.
Right.
Because it's like you can trip up on a mound and
you're still
survive.
in it. Yeah.
But you can't fuck it up twice, and it's long. You have a long way to go when that avalanche is chasing you.
It's punishing.
It is. It feels real bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are good things, bad things. Any certain part where it lost you? Avalanche?
Kind of like, I mean, immediately
log avalanche.
I was immediately turned off by the beat 'em up, side scrolling beat 'em up factor. But that being said, yeah, it lost me at the avalanche. And I will say I did enjoy watching the long play, because it was one of those things. It's like I got a lot of respect for them.
Somebody who can do it. Yeah.
For someone who can do it and do it with such, the amount of practice it must have taken to get through this for some likes on the internet is admirable, to say the least. So, but yeah, the avalanche spot is about where I lost my cool with it. I just couldn't do it.
Buy, rent, or birthday?
I think this is a rental.
Yeah.
I don't know that owning it would be something I would want, I think I would personally. I wouldn't have come back to it, but again, the genre is not my favorite, so
I wouldn't have rented it at the time.
Yeah.
But as far as like using it as like a rating scale, I would say I would be.
If you happened to rent it because nothing else was there,
right?
Yeah,
I would have rented this because I love the movie.
Yeah,
it would have gotten my attention. I'm like, ooh, a cliffhanger game, but I wouldn't have liked it.
What if you could 2-player it and have Gabe and Hal?
That would be cool.
Yeah, especially if they had some kind of like life sharing or something, or like one could like revive or resuscitate the other one. I feel like that
keeps you in the game longer. Yeah, I agree. That would be an excellent mechanic.
That would have made it better.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, I know I say this a lot, but I feel like this is another one of those games where if I would have had it as a kid, I would have just played it.
Yeah.
And been okay with it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have had as much of a long baseline to compare it to, kind of thing.
But I also played a bunch of shitty games. Yeah. I mean, it was 1993 when this game came out.
Right.
There were a lot of shitty games.
Yeah, not a lot of good choices. Not a lot of shit ton of games to choose from. So, yeah.
But looking at it from a modern perspective, it's like, man, there's so many better options for you on the Super Nintendo even.
Yeah.
This kind of... Check it out just for the like deflated enemies that you kill. That is truly my favorort part about the game.
Yeah.
You guys have any achievements?
I have quite a few achievements.
Nice.
I'm going to probably be making a lot of callbacks to things I've talked about up to this point. My first achievement is it costs a fortune to heat this place.
Nice.
And to get that warm up from almost dead at the tiny campfires to revive your health. My second achievement is Pitfall Harry.
Nice.
And die while trying to cross the water on the logs.
Yes. If only when you fell in the water, there was an alligator there.
Yeah, I wish it had been an alligator that you have to land on its eyes.
Right?
Specifically on its eye humps.
That took me so much. That took me so long to figure out as a kid.
Yeah.
Those fucking alligators.
I landed on the flat part. Why can't I stand on it?
The eye bumps. Yes.
My third achievement is I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. And I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. You kill 10 enemies that look like meatloaf without dying. One of the enemies looks like meatloaf. That's just it. It's the first thing that came to mind. And they're one of the tougher ones, the big, burly.
Bob had bitch tits.
Yes. Bob did have bitch tits, and he has them in this game. And so if you kill 10 meatloaf enemies without dying, you get that achievement. My next achievement is I'm Quaylen now, bitch. I'm Quaylen now, bitch. Beat the game with 100 million points.
Oh shit! Nice.
It would
Okay.
be impossible, but
Yeah.
you know, the dollars to points. Yeah. My next achievement is take that, you winged spawn of Satan. And to get that achievement, escape the cave and get away from the bats without dying.
Nice.
That was an Ace Ventura reference, which is also from When Nature Calls. The very first scene of Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, is a riff on Cliffhanger, where they're trying to rescue a raccoon.
I forgot about that.
And the raccoon is hanging from the cable, and the buckle breaks, and he loses it, and he loses his mojo. It's fucking hilarious.
Cliffhanger, I feel like Cliffhanger had a lot of parody stuff. Like, because I feel like I haven't watched The Critic in a long time, but I feel like Cliffhanger came up at least twice in The Critic.
You know you've done something right when people are parodying your work. Mm-hmm. And I think that's evident. And I think it's evident that this movie was clearly kind of a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, I remember hearing about it when it came out.
And the first scene in Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, being the exact first scene of Cliffhanger. It was 10 minutes long. It was great.
And I think Cliffhanger came out the same year as Demolition Man. I think it came out earlier in the year than Demolition Man. Like, this was 93 was a pretty big year for Sylvester
big action
Stallone.
movies.
I don't know when Judge Dredd came out, but
I think that was a little farther down.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's my next one. And then my next achievement is, sure, we've seen it before, but have we seen it with a boss rush / fist fight with a helicopter? I think not. Punch and kick the helicopter until it crashes, which truly is really a thing that you have to do. And then my last achievement is, Walker, you resilient bastard, you're still alive. Fight Quaylen and win.
Nice.
I can't even do the accent as badly as he does it. I can't. I think that's why I hate it so much, is because I can't comprehend what he's even doing with his mouth to make those sounds.
Close only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and trying to do Quaylen's accent.
Well, then I got it right then.
I love those. I have a couple that aren't as good. My first one is the planet's dying, Cloud. In order to unlock the planet's dying, Cloud, you join the avalanche at the end of the first level.
Fuck, man.
Second achievement, Ice Climber Twins. In order to unlock Ice Climber Twins, beat Cliffhanger with using only 2 lives.
Ooh.
Next achievement. If you want to destroy my sweater. In order to unlock, if you want to destroy my sweater. Leave the Douglas station without a sweater.
Which you absolutely do.
Last achievement. Keep absolutely still. His vision is based on movement. In order to unlock, keep absolutely still. His vision is based on movement. Trick one AI enemy into not attacking you by standing still next to a different enemy. You can do that. You can unlock that achievement without even trying.
Nice.
That's all I've got. Tyler?
I got 2. The first one being guano. He wants guano. Survive the bat avalanche. And the other being fleshy Roberto. Roberto being the stabbing robot from Futurama.
All right.
So you killed 20 enemies with the knife.
Nice.
You see what Flopsy has to say about it?
Yeah. Do you guys have any guesses as to what Flopsy might say? What kind of star rating Flopsy might give it? And what its rarity might be?
I think they're going to be overly generous. I think this one's going to get... And by the way, when I talk about Flopsy every week, I am saying what, and I want to make sure everybody understands, we are saying what we think Flopsy is going to give it, not what we think it deserves. 3 stars, I think, is what they're going to give this one. And I'm going to say it is uncommon. I'm tempted to throw a very in front of that. But I'm going to say uncommon 3 stars.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to the difference of opinions, like Flopsy would have said OJ isn't guilty, where the rest of us are like OJ's guilty. Uncommon 2 stars.
Uncommon 2 stars is what you're saying. So I remember Demolition Man surprised me that it was very uncommon.
Yes.
But that was 1995.
After the movie had been
2 years after
come
the
and
movie.
gone. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go uncommon on Cliffhanger. Just using Demolition Man as kind of like a
Well, I'm just thinking because
perspective
it only
point.
has this and what this Genesis and Sega CD. It's not like for everything like those other games.
It had
were.
it had an NES release. It came out on a bunch because I think it had. I had that pulled up.
I remember now seeing when I was looking at the long play.
I didn't realize this had an NES release.
NES.
Cliffhanger.
NES, Game Boy, Master System, Game Gear, Amiga, SNES, Genesis, and Sega
The
CD.
fact that it was on the NES explains a lot about the quality of the game to me.
It looked different to me on the NES. I didn't watch a whole bunch of it, but from the screenshots that I saw, it looked more like a platformer than a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
But I didn't check it out because I didn't really like the Super Nintendo game that much.
I feel like we're not going to get better results from the
Right.
system that was, out 10 years prior to that. Yeah.
So I'm going to go uncommon. I'm sticking with that. And I think that I'm going to go 2.5 stars on what they gave it. I feel like Cliffhanger's got a pretty bad reputation. And I think that Flopsy might feel okay giving a game a lower rating than it normally
As long
would.
as everyone else thinks that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Good point.
So that's my thinking on that. But I would not be surprised if it was 3-star based on some of the other ratings we've seen. Okay, well, according to Flopsy, a.k.a. the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library 1991 through 1998 by Pat Contry, courtesy of Monster Mold Mike and a shadowy, mysterious benefactor, Flopsy gave Demolition Man, because I haven't looked up Cliffhanger yet, Days Before Christmas. Just want to point it out. They gave it 3 stars.
I'm going to remember that.
Really? We're okay with that? All right. Okay.
I guess we've been playing such shit lately. I'm like, okay, sure. By comparison.
The review for Days Before Christmas might be, we gave this 3 stars because it's the only Christmas game.
Yep.
Cliffhanger. According to Flopsy, availability, common.
What?
Star rating, 2 stars.
Damn.
2 stars.
They were a little hard on that one.
They were.
For them, that's death. Common. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I say I've never seen it, but
Me neither. How much do you think the game costs if you were to buy it loose?
$13.
$13
I have
dues.
12 written down in my notes.
$12 actual retail value of Cliffhanger loose on average for the Super Nintendo, according to PriceCharting.com at the time of this recording, is $9.95. I might buy it.
$9.95 is not bad.
I might
You're
buy it.
right.
It's a
Not bad.
10 spot
Not
for
bad.
in addition to the collection
Right.
Yeah.
that has spawned 2 hours worth of conversation.
Yeah. I don't know how much Judge Dredd's going to be, but if it's also reasonable, I want to get,
Like a bundle.
I do want to get all 3 of them. And I want to take a photo of it and post it on Reddit and be like, fuck Donkey Kong Country. This is the best trilogy on SNES.
And then prepare for the hate.
Fuck 'em.
Love
I'll
it.
just close Reddit.
And never look again.
Get mad, motherfuckers. I'm here for porn and porn only.
Porn and to irritate the likes of you.
That's right. I've, I don't know. I've gone down the route of trying to like be part of Reddit communities before, and it is, especially like in the gaming subreddits,
Oh, man.
it's never been
Man.
like I want to hang out with these people.
No.
Yeah,
no.
it's the worst community. It's just the worst.
Every bit of it. Every bit of it is like that.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a beard, it sums up how you feel about it. What kind of beard would it be?
I would give it the beard of the skinny old prisoner in The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, I think it's one of the best Disney movies.
Yeah.
I think it has the best villain song of any Disney movie, which is Hellfire that Frollo sings. But there's an old man who's always chained up, and whenever something happens and he finally gets free, he immediately trips and falls into stocks and is locked up again. So this game is just one shitty thing after the other.
Man, was he voiced by John Ritter? Because that's all I
That'd be
think
good.
about, like Jack Tripper and Three's Company,
Yeah.
where he's just constantly like pratfalling.
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses, it sums up how you feel about it. What kind of glasses would you give it?
We give it the crystal shot from Crystal Snail in Mega Man X2,
Okay.
which his whole thing is slowing everything way the fuck down to where Mega Man is just barely crawling while they're trying to fist fight and blaster fight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
This is a pretty sluggish game.
Yep.
Even when it's supposed to be not sluggish.
Nope. Yeah.
Great. I love it.
One of the most frustrating,
Frustrating.
Quailing,
Channeling
frustrating.
your Quailen. I love it.
Mega Man Robot Masters, Crystal Snail.
Crystal
I was always
Snail.
frustrated with Crystal Snail.
I barely remember that.
If you had
It's been
Magna
so long.
Centipede, no problem. But if you didn't, fuck, that was a fucking bad fight. That's all I got.
All right. Are we done? Did we do a podcast?
And we did a podcast.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
It's there. It's ready.
That was fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Ready for Judge Dredd.
Me
Yes.
too.
We could keep it going, do Last Action Hero since we've done True Lies already after that.
So a Stallone fest wrapped in a Schwarzenegger.
We could jingle all the way since this is Stallone's giving. I don't know how many more Schwarzenegger games there are other than
I
Is
know.
there a Predator? Is there
there
a
are Predator games, but I don't think it's like I think at that
for
point it's-
SNES? I mean,
Yeah, there's an Alien versus Predator. Does that count?
no, because he's
Yeah.
not in it.
Right. We'll do some research. I like
Yeah.
this. I like this.
'Cause I mean, I know for sure Last Action Hero.
Right.
But yeah, beyond that. So then, yeah, Judge Dredd. All right. So thanks for listening, everybody. You'll find the show on iTunes, not SoundCloud, not Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, all over the goddamn place. There's a bunch of shit, but most importantly, Patreon.
Yeah, we have a Patreon. I don't know why I completely forgot about this part of the show, considering that we talked about it.
You were
for
so excited
an
to talk
hour.
about Cliffhanger.
yeah.
I wasn't ready. I'm ready now.
That's I want to say that is an awesome Jurassic Park shirt that you're wearing.
Thank
Is
you.
that like a vintage original? Because it looks like it is.
No, but I was if it were, it would have been a ringer. But I could never find only T-shirt, Jurassic Park T-shirt I could find anywhere locally was black, and I'm tired of having black T-shirts. I like white T-shirts. So I ordered this from Amazon, where you can basically have just about any logo pressed onto a T-shirt for $10 or whatever.
It looks good.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
Love
it
this shirt.
it looks like it's from back in the day.
Yeah, it does, and it's super comfortable.
Yeah.
It's my most comfortable T-shirt.
Cool.
And I bought that with Patreon money because we have a Patreon at patreon.com/tadpog or pisstasters.com.
Taste the piss.
And I have to have an announcement about Patreon that our list has been seriously wrong.
We ran an audit.
We ran an audit today on our Patreon. I'm not going to get into it, but I would like to apologize if your name should have been on the list the last few times and wasn't read. I apologize for that. We have updated our list so that it is accurate. And if you don't hear your name on the list and you are a $20 or more donor, which makes you an executive producer, please come to the Discord, bit.ly/tadpog Discord, and tell me about it so I can add your name to the list. But our updated list is now the following generous people who donate $20 or more to the show, starting with Plinko Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Cthusiast Jeff Miners, Joseph Phillips, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Louisville Correspondent, Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl. Congratulations on your marriage. Pinball Airplane, Archmage, Chris Edler. We're sorry you couldn't be on this episode. Sandwich Pope, Phil Hawkins, Drinksmith, Joey Webster, and Derek Pope Sandwich. Took me a lot less time to read that list, and it was all out of weird order that I'm used to reading it in, so it was all hard. It was hard to read.
What would you estimate your lung capacity is now after reading that?
Well, higher because I don't smoke anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm probably choking more on it now because it's not the same rhythm. But I can do it in one breath.
Man, you're turning me on right now so bad. you said a lot of words that my brain was just like, yeah.
Lung.
That's the one.
That's the word. Yes, and for anyone interested, I failed to mention that I'm now in. By the time this airs, I will be in week 3.5 of not smoking.
It's awesome, dude.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. I feel better.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to hear it.
That I am not smoking anymore. And I don't feel I have very few moments where I wish I could have a smoke.
That's awesome.
And that doesn't last long. Like I don't obsess over it. It's nice to have this vape, which is a great substitute in this case. I should probably cut back a little on it, but it's fine because I'm not smoking and I can tell the difference. So yeah, I'm happy that I've hopefully at this point now fully committed to this because there's a lot of reasons not to smoke.
Awesome, dude. I'm really glad to hear it.
Thank you. Additional thanks go to our backlog banisher, Mr. Puzzles, Dane, who puts our show on YouTube every week.
Yes, thank you, dude.
Thank you so much for that. And then, as I mentioned before, we have a Discord, but you can hear about that in the closer that I've pre-recorded several weeks ago and keep forgetting that I use. And so I don't want to repeat the same thing I've said over and over again. So that's it. That's it. That's all I got.
So I did.
Yeah, what were you laughing about?
A search for Cliffhanger T-shirt.
Oh
I shared
God.
in Discord.
I want.
There
this
is a site called. That's really what I was laughing at. There is an entire site, dude. This is slystalloneshop.com.
Oh my God.
And there is a Cliffhanger shirt that says "Hang on," and Gabe Walker is hanging off of the A and "Hang on." And Cliffhanger logo is running across his butt.
Only $33.
They like their shirts there at SlyStalloneShop.com.
You can get the official Rocky fedora. There's a shirt that says Balboa Women. Oh no, that's just the style of shirt. That's a terrible design. I thought it said Balboa Women.
That would be hilarious. We should all buy that if it were true.
Rocky 4 sweatshirt, $79.
It's a Rocky Hawaiian shirt. That's pretty nice.
There's a lot of. I mean, it's expensive as shit,
It
but
is.
I like a lot of it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the replica prop of the necklace with the boxing glove that he wears in Rocky. That's pretty cool. Ooh, a Lincoln Hawk over the top hat.
What?
The hat that he wears in the movie Over the Top. That's cool. The military sea bag from Rambo. Rocky's yellow boxing trunks. Wow.
I'm looking for a
Ooh,
Demolition
you can get
Man
the
shirt.
Ivan Drago Rocky 4 ring jacket for $125.
Whoa.
The Heartstopper knife from Rambo Last Blood. $195. The Rocky fedora is only $150. That's less than I thought it would be.
Rocky 2 board shorts.
Yeah. Replica props. Rocky statue collectibles. The John Rivoli collection. What's that? Oh, yeah, the Rambo stuff. Huh. Okay. Wow.
There's a lot on here.
There's
Pages.
a lot. I'm gonna
There's
look through
pages of merchandise.
Yeah, lots. Let's see what's on sale. Rambo cast and crew bomber jacket is on sale, which is really cool,
It is
actually,
cool, yeah.
for $150. Over the top New York tank.
Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. Look at that track. We found the shorts at TADPOG.com.
What are you trying to play? This is a good podcasting? Just us scrolling through a website listing products that we're looking at? This is classic TADPOG, man.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
I mean, eat a Wendy's sandwich and we'll seal the deal.
Ooh,
We just smack you into the microphone and we'll talk about what we see on the internet.
the Rocky Hawaiian shirt is pretty cool.
Right?
Hey, you guys want to close it out?
As Quaylen.
Oh, fuck
Yep.
yes.
So until next time.
Tropical
Capricorn.
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler, and is available wherever fine podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. We'll even play it on the show and respond eventually. Want to send us something? You can do that at Tadpog Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. Sick of us doing all the talking? You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/tadpogdiscord or tastethepiss.com. Not many things are truly free these days, but our Discord is, and we'd love to see you there. Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive, and a link to that track can be found at the show notes at tadpog.com. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcasting platform. We really appreciate it.
So I think it would be great if we did a lightning draft for the Stinger.
Okay.
Because people don't like it when we don't do drafts. So
Yeah,
I feel like
I picked up on that in the
on the Discord.
Discord.
Yeah. So we have to include a draft because what I want to do is trap people. I want to be like, no draft while they're listening to it. And then they'll get to the end and be like, I'm dumb.
So you do like a top 3 mini draft or something?
Lightning draft. I don't care what it is. Let's just
Okay.
draft something. Can be one. Pick one. Let's draft one thing. let's draft one piece of merchandise off of the SlyStallone.com website.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I mean, Sly Stallone movies. We take
Perfect.
nine
Stallone
of those.
movies.
Like we do our top 3 Sly Stallone movies.
Let's draft them up real quick.
Okay.
Sure. Quick. Just fire them off. Roll.
Dave 1, Ian 2, me 3.
Yeah.
That's a D10. That'll take forever. 3.
Go.
Me. Original Rocky.
Nice. Demolition Man.
Cliffhanger. I can say Judge Dredd because you two haven't seen it. So what's your next pick, Tyler?
What would be my next Sylvester Stallone movie? Honestly, I haven't seen a ton of his shit. I'm gonna say Creed.
Good movie.
I really liked Creed.
You're gonna go Rambo? I feel like Rambo hasn't been picked yet.
I've never seen Rambo.
Okay, me
We're
neither.
lightning drafting.
Rambo. Ride the lightning.
Rocky 4.
Don't stop or my mom will shoot.
The Expendables.
John Rambo.
Okay. I thought you were gonna go Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
No.
Good draft.
There we go.
Good
Body
draft.
Top 3.
Now, to anybody who was on Discord complaining about being no draft, you haven't gotten there yet. Trust us. Trust us.
You idiot.
We're listening, you idiot.
And this is the part where all of you get mad that we didn't pick the shit that you wanted us to pick.
Yeah.
So go crazy.
Believe it!